Mark, we announced last week that the McCaffrey Football Group have made a significant investment into our women's team. Just how exciting a time is this for the women's team?
It's a great opportunity now for us to really grow Leyton Orient women's football. I think when Nigel and the guys took over back in 2017, women's football was an important part of the process, bringing it back under the Leyton Orient umbrella, which they did. The team have been successful over the past few years, gaining a couple of promotions. Arguably should have got promoted last year, but didn't. And what this investment does, by people who are genuinely interested and have a background in women's football, is to allow Leyton Orient women now to go significantly up the levels, and hopefully, I think, as was said last week in the press release, be competing nearer the top end of the women's game than we're obviously at the level that we currently are at. With all football clubs who have a women's team, unless you're one of the big clubs, and you can see already the Women's Super League is beginning to mirror the Premier League. If you're going to grow, you need investment in the women's side. You need investment in the structure. You need investment in players and the support facilities they get. And what we've done is by partnering, if you like, almost with the McCaffrey Football Group, is to give our women the chance now to really progress and get up towards the top echelons of the women's game. So it's great that it's with someone that we know, someone who's had an interest in the club, fallen in love with the club over the past few years, in Jim McCaffrey and Eastill, who are on the front of our men's shirts and obviously on the front of the women's shirts as well now. So it's great that it's because we did have some other interest as well. So it's great to be able to be partnering and have investment from people that we know, that have worked with, that have enjoyed working with, and I think they've enjoyed working with us. So it's a really important time now as we see some real growth for Leyton Orient women.
You touched on it towards the end there, but how important was it that obviously the McCaffrey Football Group is headed up by Jim McCaffrey, someone that we do know and someone that we've learned to trust over the last couple of years?
It's incredibly important because you don't want people to come in and treat this as like some kind of fad that only lasts for 2 or 3 years. But Jim and his daughter Stephanie, who played at the highest level for the USA and who scored a number of goals yesterday in an incredible 11-3 win in the FA Cup, they're really passionate, not only about Leyton Orient, but obviously about women's football. So you've got a marriage made in heaven, really, between Leyton Orient and Leyton Orient's women and the McCaffrey Football Group. As I say, we did have some other interested parties, but the McCaffrey Group were keen to find a brand, as they call it, that is recognisable as a mainstream football brand. Leyton Orient clearly is that. They've obviously got experience of working with us now for 2 or 3 years. I think we all get on incredibly well, really enjoy the partnership that we have with them. And when I listen to Jim and I listen to Steph and their plans, I'm genuinely really excited for what they want to achieve. And it allows us as a football club to work hand in hand with them, but we will focus on the men's side and we will do what we need to do, both contractually and morally, to support the women's side in their growth aspirations over the next 5 years or so.
It's a significant investment that they've made, but it's not a complete takeover of the women's side, is it? So what provisions are in place to protect the Leyton Orient name and the women's team?
No, it's not a complete takeover. The football club still retains a significant investment in Leyton Orient's women, even though the McCaffrey Group are taking on the lion's share, the vast majority of the expenditure. There are certain things the club will provide. So, our IP, our name, our brand, our kit, our badge, all of those things. There's no way this can slide off and be called something different or play in a different kit. There's going to be Leyton Orient women. Again, that's something that was important to us. And in talking with Jim and Steph about their plans, they bought into Leyton Orient. They want to see Leyton Orient in all its glory with our kit and our badge growing on the women's side. So there are protections in the terms that we've agreed with the McCaffrey Football Group that ensure that the club will always be Leyton Orient women and that they will play in our kit and with our badge unless there's a really, really good reason to change that, which top of my head, I can't see why that would be the case. So it's important that the brand is protected because this is Leyton Orient women. They will be playing in our kit. They will be representing our club. So it's important that all aspects of that are realised and that they're the way they operate is in keeping with all of the rules and regs of the club, things like safeguarding, which is incredibly important, that McCaffrey Group fully understand. That's another good reason why we should be partnering with them. They understand all of those provisions. And I'm really, really excited that we are working with some good people to drive women's football forward for Leyton Orient.
And I saw a couple of supporters online speculating, has something like this been done as a front for something else involving the men's team and things like that? But this is purely an investment in the women's team that we as a club and the McCaffrey Football Group are very excited about, isn't it?
No, this is something that doesn't manipulate our FFP or our SCMP, all the financial rules. This is just an organisation that really want to drive our women's football club forward and have invested in it. The club still have a vested interest, but this isn't a backdoor way of bringing an interested party or an integral party in and inflating our numbers. If we were going to do that, we would have announced a £20 million sponsorship by E-Still in the women's team, which would have been complete nonsense, let's be fair. So this is just generally an exciting partnership between two organisations that have got the best interests of women's football at heart and want to work together to really drive it forward. And I hope our fans will see it really positively, as they should do. And hopefully a few of them will find themselves at Buckhurst Hill to watch some games. Part of the deal is that we will put on more of the women's team's matches here at Brisbane Road, and we will endeavour to do that as often as possible. But I think we're looking to build it up 4 or 5 times a year to begin with, and we're going to slot that in. The pitch is now maturing. It can take a little bit more football on top of the women's team from North London that we also host. I think it's a really, really exciting time, and I hope our fans will take a real interest in how our women get on. I think it's going to create some big noise in the women's game.